exactly what you do every day, which is to we were able to create an institution, but to get the word out in an environment where there are numerous claims that are and counterclaims made about what that institution is. So there are lots of stories I can tell you, but my most famous story is this, something which uh, we have experienced in our life, and I don't know how many of you have experienced. So when you are so much at the formative phase of an institution, nobody cares, nobody wants to let you in to speak, nobody wants to invite you to do anything, because here you are promoting one more mediocre, or what is possibly a mediocre private university, and why should you be allowed to speak? So we would, and by the way, my Ankur, I typically do 8 talks in a day, and my highest was 11 talks. So 5 means I am working half a day. So in a typical day, when it starts around 6:30 or so, when we are outside Delhi, we travel across schools, and I end up landing at a school at 8 o'clock, and then we keep moving it an hour to an hour and a half gap. So I landed up in a school called, I'll tell you the name of the school, doesn't matter, Woodstock School. Woodstock is in Mussoorie, and Woodstock will not let anybody in to speak. So this was 2009, and we wanted to speak to the students. So we could not even meet the principal or headmaster, and somebody said that there's no chance, they don't allow anybody to speak. And and I was I said, listen, I really want to talk to the students. And so then this teacher said, we can't let you into the school to give a talk. We can't organize all of that. But, at around 11 o'clock, the students will have a break, and they'll come to the car park for a coffee. So if you want, you can give a talk at the coffee spot. So I said, this is great. So I landed up in the parking spot. I remember me and Paddy and Yugang, 2 of my other colleagues, were there. And we, believe it or not, we gave an outreach talk for 15 minutes in the right outside the Woodstock School. And we gave a talk, and then students some of them were listening, some of them were not. There was not much of a Q&A session. They left and they went back. And then while we were returning and it took, going to Woodstock is a big challenge, right? You're in Mussoorie, but still it's not easily accessible. So we spent almost 3.5 hours for that effort. And then we did many other schools, Wilhelm Boys, Wilhelm Girls, and many others. And then we returned back. And believe it or not, in 2012, this is 2009 I'm talking about, 2012, 3 years later, we had 4 students from Woodstock joining us. And I met them, by that time we had already expanded, and they said that they heard my talk in the car park of Woodstock in 2009. I mean, that was something. So it's basically what you can, you are relentlessly pursuing an idea and are prepared to take those type of risks and opportunities, and not to be personally embarrassed about your own self or what you're doing, and definitely not have a personal ego, or somehow your stature is diminished by the fact that you're doing something below your dignity or whatever. If you are able to overcome those type of things, opportunities will come. We were so deeply inspired by that experience, but we were anyways continuing the